Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Today we'll be learning a poem, The Kingfisher by W.H.Davies. This particular poem is prescribed by the endeavours to class 11. So let us first try to read the poem. The Kingfisher by W.H.Davies. It was the rainbow gave the bird, and left the owl her lovely hues, and as her mother's name was Tears, so runs it in their blood to choose. For haunts the lonely pools and keep, in company with trees that weep. Go you and, with such glorious hues, live with proud peacocks in green parks, on lawns as smooth as shining glass. Let every feather show its marks. Get thee on bough, and clap thy wings before the windows of proud kings. Nay, lovely bird, thou art not vain, thou hast no proud ambitious mind. I also love a quiet place that's green, away from all mankind. A lonely pool, and let a tree sigh with its bosom over me. So, as we can see, this particular poem, it is constructed in a division of 3 stanzas. So before coming to the contents of the Kingfisher poem, let us first try to understand a little bit about the poet. So as we all know, William Henry Davies, he was born in the year 1871 and then he died on 1940. He was a Welsh poet and a writer. First we will try to study this poem structurally. So the structure and the framework of the poem, as we all can see, it is divided into 3 stanzas, and then in the first stanza, as you can see, there are 6 lines, and then in the second stanza there are also again 6 lines, and then in the third stanza there are 6 lines. So the poem is divided into 3 stanzas consisting 6 lines in each stanza. And then when we will try to examine the rhyme of the poem, we can see here the last word of the first line in the first stanza is bird, and in the second line the last word is hues, and in the third line the last word is tears, and in the fourth line the last word is choose, and in the fifth line the last word is keep, and in the sixth line the last word is whip. As we all know, in order to examine the rhyme of the poem, we always have to take out, or we have to give a note to the last word in every line. So just for a demo, let us first try to analyze the first stanza. So bird, this is the first sound, so we will give a note as A. And then in the second line, the last word is hues. So just try to distinguish between the 2 words, the first and the second, the bird and the hues. So does it seem similar to you? Bird, hues? Yes, it doesn't. It doesn't seem similar. So we will give it the note as B, not A, because this is the another sound. So similarly, let us now try to go to the third line. That is tears. Bird, hues, tears. So the sound in all these 3 lines, they are not similar. Bird, hues, tears. So it comes under another sound, so we will give a note as C. And in the fourth line, the last word is choose. So just try to distinguish among the 3 and the 4th lines. Bird, hues, tears, choose. So you can just recheck the second line. Hues and choose. Does it seem similar to you? Hues and choose. It sounds something as ooze, ooze sound. Yes, the sound is similar. So we can give a note as A or B or C. It is B because the sound it alliterates or repeats again from the second line to the fourth line, that is hues and choose. So we'll come to the next line, that is the fifth line. So the sound is, the last word, the sound is keep. Keep. Bird, hues, tears, choose, keep. So the sound is very different from the other sounds. So we'll give a note as, we have given A, B, C. So the new sound will be D. Yes, the new sound is D. And then the last line, the last word is whip. Keep, whip. So does it sound similar? Yes. So keep and whip. Keep, whip. So it sounds as a couplet. So as we all know what is couplet, so it sounds as a couplet. So now let us try to examine all the first stanza, the lines of all the first stanza. So the sound, if we add together, then it becomes A, B, C, B, D, D rhyme pattern. So in order to save time, I won't be examining the second and the third stanzas. So if you go through the poem, then you will find that the poem is constructed in A, B, C, B, D, D rhyme scheme pattern in all the stanzas. In all the stanzas. And then the meter of the poem is constructed in iambic tetrameter. As you all know, let us first try to analyze the first stanza. So it was the rainbow gave the bird. So the sound, it starts with unaccented it, and then was, it is accented again, the, it is unaccented again. So the sound, it shows the sign of iambic because the sound, it started with unaccented and then accented, unaccented and then accent. So such type of pattern is known as iambic in meter. And then you will see that how many syllables are there in this particular line in the first stanza. It was the rainbow gave the bird. So altogether there are 8 syllables. As we all know, under iambic or under disyllabic, there are 2 syllables under 1 measure or foot. So here we have altogether 4 measure or 4 foot. Because it is 4 measured, so it is known as tetrameter. As we all know, if there is only one syllable, if there is only one measure, then it is known as monometer. If there is 2 measure, then it is known as dimeter. If there is 3 measures, then it is known as trimeter, followed by tetrameter, pentameter, hexameter, heptameter, octameter, and so on and so forth. So without wasting our time, let us first try to understand that the poem, The Kingfisher by W.H.Davies, it is written or constructed in A, B, C, B, D, D rhyme pattern, and the meter of the poem, it is in iambic tetrameter. Fine. So now let us try to understand literally about the kingfisher. So as we all know, this particular kingfisher, it is a beautiful bird. It is brightly colored. It has multiple of colors. But as we all know, it is a solitary bird. It lives alone. It lives near the lonely pool or the riverside. And then we can see that this particular bird, usually it lives near the riverside in search of food, as it eats fish and other water insects. So literally, this is the information about the bird kingfisher. So in the first stanza, the poem begins with a statement of simile, saying that it was as if the rainbow has given birth to the kingfisher. As you can see here, the first line, it was the rainbow gave the birth. So just think for yourself, is it possible, literally or genetically, for a rainbow to give birth to this particular bird, kingfisher? I don't think so, because rainbow, it is another thing, and then kingfisher, it is another thing. So genetically it is not at all possible, or realistically it is not at all possible. But here we have the comparison, as if this particular rainbow is the mother who gave birth to this particular bird, kingfisher. So let us try to understand why the poet has said so. And then it said, and left the all her lovely hues. So the mother, let us first try to understand that the rainbow is the mother of kingfisher bird. As we all know, rainbow, it is very beautiful, and it has several multiple colors. So similarly, as if this particular bird also has inherited the same beautiful color, multicolored, from her mother rainbow, and left the all her lovely hues. Hues, as we all know, hues means colors. And as her mother's name was Tears. So here we have another comparison. So the rainbow is also named as Tears. But why tears? What is the hidden meaning within it? What is tears? As we all know, here, if we go on analyzing, we will find that W.H.Davies has made a biblical allusion from the book of Genesis chapter 9 verse 11 to verse 17 of Noah's flood. As we all know, the rainbow, it originated as a promise from the tears, suffering, and death that mankind had ever witnessed as a punishment for being wicked and disobeying God's will in the Bible. So God had flooded the wicked world to destroy everything that has been created, and only Noah and his family were saved on the earth because Noah was humble and loyal to God. Therefore, the poet named rainbow as tears. Rainbow is also the covenant of God with mankind, that God shall never flood the entire world with water to destroy all flesh. The rainbow also occurred literally after the rain when there is sunlight. Therefore, the droplets of rain also resembled the aptness of naming rainbow as tears. So the bird is likely to inherit the hereditary blood of sadness and the hope of happiness from the rainbow. So runs it in the blood to choose for haunts the lonely pools and keep in company with trees that weep. Therefore, the speaker father says that the kingfisher chose the lonely pools to live an isolated life. Instead of haunts. Haunts means frequently visited place. The kingfisher's company or friends were not other than the weeping trees. So in order to have a deep effect of sadness, the poet used a word weep, W-E-E-P, weep, which has a double meaning of shedding tears, and also simply the drooping, the bending willow trees, which is symbolical of humbleness that is found near water. So now let us try to come to the second stanza. Let us try to examine the second stanza. So in the second stanza, the speaker suggests the kingfisher to go and live with the proud peacocks. Go you and with such glorious hues. So the kingfisher suggested the kingfisher to go and live with whom? With the peacocks, the another species of bird, that is peacocks. The poet says that the beauty of the kingfisher is worthy of praises. No doubt it has glorious hues, glorious colors. And therefore the bird should go to the proud peacock. It seems the peacock is proud of its beautiful feathers in green parks, on lawns as smooth as shining glass. So in order to teach the proud peacock a lesson to be humble and modest, it seems that the feather of the kingfisher is much more beautiful than the feather of the peacock. But the peacock is proud and wants to show and boast its beauty, whereas the kingfisher is humble. Therefore, the kingfisher does not want to show its beauty. The kingfisher preferred the lonely life among the lonely pools. The poet also asked the kingfisher to get on the bough and clap its wings before the windows of the palace of the proud kings. So the poet suggested the kingfisher to teach a lesson to the proud kings to be humble like the kingfisher. Kingfisher, although the kingfisher is beautiful, its feathers are full with multiple brightly colors, beautiful colors, glorious colors, but still it is meek, it is humble, it is modest. So here, the kingfisher bird became a perfect model, a replica of symbolism of being humble. So it seems that the poet wants the proud kings to learn the modesty from the bird. The kingfisher could also boast for its beauty, but it remains humble. So now, let us try to come to the third stanza, the last stanza of the poem. Nay, lovely bird, thou art not vain. So in the third stanza, the speaker calls the kingfisher as lovely bird, who is not proud or vain. Thou hast no proud, ambitious mind. So the kingfisher does not have any proud, selfish, ambitious mind. In fact, the poem is a satire to the proud nature of mankind. So as we all know, the mankind, the people, if they are beautiful, they tend to boast about their beauty. So the speaker had learned a good character from the kingfisher and got inspired and moved, and therefore he wants to imitate the bird. He learns the lesson of being humble, humbleness in beauty, or beauty in being humble. Therefore, the poet also preferred to live in a quiet place, in the hearts of nature that's green, away from the noisy and disturbing life of human civilization. The speaker determines to seek solace, to find solace among the lonely pools. And he also wishes, yearns for a tree to be his close company or friend. He says, a lonely pool, and let a tree sigh with its bosom over me. So he wants a tree to let out its deep breath of relief under its embrace. So we can see that the kingfisher, the poem, it is well planned, well managed, well balanced, and then well manifested poem. The structure of the poem, it is constructed magnificently with balance, and then the poet is successful in conveying the message of being humble and living the best life when one is all alone with oneself. So I hope you will have understood something about this kingfisher. So in order to understand it, so please go on reading the poem and try to analyze it, and then try to interpret it by yourself. So the more we read, the more we analyze, the more we will get to learn. So if you like this video, and then if you have not subscribed to my channel, then please subscribe, and then don't forget to press the bell icon. Thank you.